Hello, kindergarten readers! Thank you for joining Mrs. Motter again as we continue to learn about nonfiction books, or you can call them informational books. They teach us things about a topic. I have started a chart here and I'm going to read it through with you. We're going to talk about what we learned before and what we're going to talk about today. Our chart is called Learning About Nonfiction. The other day we talked about this lesson, number 1. Authors of nonfiction tell about a topic. And here's a little book called Owls. So we know the topic of that book is owls. All the pages are going to be about owls in that book. Today we're going to talk about another lesson, lesson number 2. Authors of nonfiction know and care about the topic. So they pick a topic that they know a lot about and they care a lot about. Can you touch your brain and say know? And then touch your heart and say care. If the author doesn't know enough, they can do some research and they can look up some more information to add to their book. And they always pick a topic that they care about because they want people to learn more. There are some topics that I know a lot about and I care about, and I could write a whole book about it. We have a pet rabbit at our house. I know a lot about rabbits, and I love rabbits. I could write a whole book about it. Now, spiders, on the other hand, I don't really like spiders very much. I don't care for them very much. So I probably wouldn't want to write a book about spiders. What is something that you know a lot about and you care about it a lot? You can write a whole book about that. Do you know a lot about Minecraft? Do you like it a lot? You could write a nonfiction book about that. Do you know a lot about dogs? Do you love dogs? Then you could write about that. So authors think about what they know a lot about and what they care about. I'm going to show you a story, a nonfiction book. This one is called Frogs. The topic is frogs. So the author, Michael K. Smith, knows a lot about frogs. And he cares a lot about frogs. And he wants to share all of that with you. Let's read this little nonfiction book called Frogs. Frogs. Some frogs are big. Some frogs are small. Some frogs are green. Some frogs are brown. Some frogs live in ponds. Some frogs live in trees. But most frogs hop. Michael K. Smith knows a lot about frogs and he cares a lot about frogs. And he wanted to share that with you. This author is Joe Windsor. This author wanted to teach us about hiding animals. Animals that can camouflage themselves in nature and hide. I don't know a lot about camouflaged animals. So I think I'm going to learn a lot about camouflaged animals. Can you say camouflage? That means the animal hides in nature so it doesn't get eaten. So a green animal would hide in a green place. Yeah. So this author knows a lot about camouflaged animals and she cares about it a lot too. It's called Hiding. We're going to read this little book and then you're going to head off, set that timer, and look at books for 5 minutes. hiding. This animal can hide. It is in the grass. Bird. Now friends, you're going to have to look pretty carefully at this picture because the bird is camouflaged. Hey, did you notice something here that we also use as writers? Labels. This animal can hide. It is in the forest. Deer. It can be hard to find a camouflaged animal. This animal can hide. It is in the leaves. Snake. Ooh, that one is tough to find because the color of the head is the color of the leaves. Nice photographs. This animal can hide. It is in the leaves too. Frog. Can you find him? You can try to read this book with me if you hear the pattern. This animal can hide. It is in the tree. Moth. Oh, that just looks like leaves. Here we go. This animal can hide. It is in the tree too. Snake. Friends, can you see it? Looks like a branch. And at the end, they have something called an index that tells us what animals are in different places. Some are in the forests, the grass, the leaves, and the trees. And then we can slide our finger over and see what page we need to go to find those places and animals. So that author really knows a lot about camouflaged animals, and they care enough to write a book about it. Wow. Friends, thank you for joining me on this nonfiction journey. Grab some books, snuggle up, and set that timer to read.